Good evening, guys. Hope you're having a nice, fine Friday evening. And tonight, what we're going to do is we are going to move the research into the research station, but we're going to have to save a master version in the controller. So, earlier on, what we did was we actually saved our research button so that when we come in here it actually updates the research tree or all the research trees, but what we actually need to also do is update what is in the player controller. Okay, so this is what is in the master controller. That was a link to it there. And basically we have to find out, so what we have to do is we have to go into our master controller, right? And this struct current research is not an array. Okay. Now, I don't think this is actually referenced anywhere, but we shall check it out, and no, it's not. Okay. Now, we can check it here, which is a good way to just make sure it's not referenced anywhere else. And it doesn't appear to be, which is good. Okay. Although it is having a serious think about it, to be fair. And let me know in the chat how you guys are tonight and what you are up to and the plans for the weekend and whatever. So we're going to do a research button. Now it looks as if there's nothing that is related to this. So what we're actually going to do is we have our research requirements. Now, is that what we want? So if we look in our, we want struct requirements, okay? So in our FE controller, this is research items, and we don't want that. We actually want research requirements. Okay. So we now go back and we're going to close that. If there's any issues, we shall just sort them out as we need to. So if we go back to our research button, we basically get the research requirements and we plug them in here. So that's going to be our master copy, right? But the thing is, when we actually create them, right, we're actually going to make amendments to the FE controller version while using the actual version. Okay, there's something it doesn't like there. Yeah. So, this is in the research button. And we use the FE controller, right? But we get okay, so we're going to need to create this again, the calculate progress, because this is going to have to come off here. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, right? We may need some, maybe not. Oh yeah, but probably yeah. Now does it, it's only got an output, right? So we need to check out what these are in the BPC. I'm pretty sure that these are actually variables set up. So we're going to have to do that, right? So if we get into our FE controller, right, and we're going to create a new function, it's going to be return research progress. Okay. And then if we paste all of this in, so we've got required item count, current item count. So let's check out the BPC. Now it does not actually have those variables. So we're going to have to find out where these come from. Okay. Yeah. Where this is. So I've got to assume they're in here. And Interesting. Yeah, here's it here. So, if we go back to our FE controller, right, and we just press the right button there, which took us right out of there, which is obviously ideal. So we can promote to local variable. And the other one is this one. So promote to local variable. Then we can delete that, delete that. Then this becomes a get here. Okay, and then we delete that. Then we refresh that. And it's not quite right yet. So that's going to be required item count. Right, and these aren't going to like this anymore. And current item count. So if we change these both, item count, so we can save that, and then basically we do that and delete that, we get that and delete that. And we plug these in, and these are floats, so that's okay. Right, so we can tidy this up a bit now, and we can basically replace these current counts and that'll be that. So this is current item count, so we just do that, and this goes in here, we delete that, that goes up there, and then we plug that in, then we do that and that, and we delete that, and then finally required item count, we drag that in and we delete that. Okay, so now that we've done that, we do that. That's working. So now on our research button, we can do return research progress. We can delete that, then we can do that. Okay. And now our one little problem left is in our actual BPC, right? This is coming from, well, actually that's okay. This is okay. But when we update, we need to update not only our this one, right, but we need to get our controller one. Okay, so this is going to be struct and it's just going to be a straight set. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. It's actually not. Right? So what we need to do here is not necessarily update this. Okay? But we need to update the controller version. Right? So we need to basically get this. Right, so we need to get the struct we need to get this, right? And then we need to break it. And then the controller is going to tell us if we're complete. And if we are complete, then it's going to send a message back to all the it's going to send a message back to all the research stations to basically tell them all that we're now complete, right? Because this is all having to be done because if you've got more than one research station, then they're all contributing to the research getting done, right? But you need a master requirements to tell us that that's actually happening, right? So basically that's what we have to do. So fundamentally we don't change the requirements, but we do change the current progress, right? So basically we say for each, I mean in reality now these are only going to be basically what we'll just do a for each because they're only going to be one anyway, because you're only going to be able to basically do one at a time. Right? Well, actually not necessarily. Right? So we basically do this, copy that, right? Then we paste that this is going to go into here, and the one we're checking here, let's see what we're doing here. This might not actually go in here. Right, so this updates our internal struct. So we basically do this again, except we don't. So we have taken an item off, and it's this item here, although it doesn't really matter because the item's going to have to be the same, right? So we can take this from anywhere. Okay, we'll tidy this up later, but this is going to go in here. And if those are the same, then we basically set this right, but then we're doing for each, right? And if they're the same, what we say is set member in supply struct, and the only one we're going to do is the item quantity. So this is going to say true, right? And that goes to there, and that goes to there. Okay, maybe it doesn't. So we'd have to set the array element here. Okay, so we don't do that. We do this instead, right? So we do that, we do that, and it's the current progress goes in there. Not got a good feeling about this. I'm feeling like I'm not making a lot of sense here, to be honest. Or at least my brain's not telling me I'm doing the right thing here, put it that way. Normally when I get in the flow, it just kind of works. But I'm not getting that feeling. Okay, so if that equals that, then we do that -1. Okay, okay, right? And then what we need to do is this thing here, except, oops, we need to do this in the controller, right? Because it's only the controller that can decide if this is actually correct or not. So that's, we don't want a variable, thanks. What we want is another function. So this is going to say check for research completion. Okay, and we have to do that. And then we have to move it into the right place. And then here we need local variables. Except we can't do local variables until we create them. So we need to check what this is actually doing. No inputs, no outputs. Right, it has got local variables, but only the one. Right, so we can go back here. And can we promote this to local variable? We can say is complete. We plug this in, and it doesn't like it, because it never does. We can set that to is complete. Okay, that's weird. Now, I don't know why. Yeah, okay. We can delete that. Plug that back in. Then this goes into here. Then this gets deleted. And we drag this in. And this goes to here. And we can drag the other ones in. Or we can duplicate it anyway. Right, so we drag this in. This goes to here. Pull this down a bit. Delete that. Put that there. Put it up a bit. Then duplicate it. It's going to go in here. We might not, yeah. Right, wait a minute, what happened there? Right. Okay, so we set this. We delete that. We go there, go there. That goes to there. This goes to here. that's okay. Then once again we bring this in, and it's a set, so that goes to there. Then we can delete that, save that. Okay, we've got another couple of issues here. That can get deleted. Then we do that. Oops. And that goes in there. And we do a get. That goes in there. And we'll delete that. And we can delete that. And yeah, should be able to save that. Not yet. So this is save game data. That can go straight to there. These two can go away. This one can go to here. This one can go away. And this one can go over here. Try that again. We're down to one, and it's the very first one. Isn't that excellent? And that can go in there. Save that. Okay. So that should be us. There we go. And that's that. So I would take it, it's now for testing, or not. Now, the point being that every time we add if we check in BPC here, right, if we look for references, right, and it's in the graph, it's in the graph for process research. So in actual fact, we don't do a check for completion here. What we do is we get the controller, and the easiest way just is to drag it from there and it's that one there, right? So this is going to go in here, so that every time we take one away, or sorry, yeah, every time we add one to the amount completed, it does it in the FE controller, right? And now in our research button we get this. Okay, So let's have a look. Yeah, we'll stop that just now, right? We'll press play again and we'll load a game, and I think it was retest 2. Which isn't loading our game. So if we click retest, there we go. Now what we're actually going to have to do here is look at our controller, but I'm guessing, yeah, we don't have it available here. So we're going to stop it. We're going to go to our controller and we are going to make that editable, instance editable, so that we can see it. Now the interesting thing is here, you'll see that the load game didn't actually work. Or at least the continue didn't work when we loaded the game, right? So we shall carry on with this. We shall hit L a few times. And that's going to speed up our production. And now, if we hit this and hit this and close that, well, it kind of closed immediately. And we don't have that. Wow. Infinite loop. Okay. So I'm kind of guessing that this is kind of because, well, actually I don't know. It's pulling something for the wrong place, put it that way. Right, now that's okay, that's okay. Now what we want to do, so we're building a grid and we're saying refresh tree. Right, now I'm just wondering where this refresh tree is getting called from, but I pretty much know. Right, now this is okay, right? That's okay. that's okay. And this is okay. Our problem at the moment is if we start with no research, it kinda loses its mind. So we're not gonna, what we've got to see is, right, is if this so we're gonna have to copy this, and if this is, apparently we can't check that is valid, right? So we can't check that if it's nothing. So we have to break that, right? Let's see. Well, we can't check that. Right, okay. We can just check length. Just go len. And if it's greater than 0, then we can branch on it. Okay. And if it's not, we don't process, and therefore we don't check anything else or update the tree or basically anything. We just sort of say sod it. Right? And that kind of sorts that issue out, I think. But we'll see. So if we continue, so it's not loading the right game, so we're gonna have to sort that out as well. So that is an issue. So let's actually check that out while we're checking this out. So what we'll do is, if we go back to the main menu, and we go to load game, and it's probably on the load slot, right? So let's see what's going on here. So we confirm the action, right? And if we confirm the action, we set all of them as current. We'll do that just for a laugh. We set them all to no. It's not the current game. And then we set this one is to the current game. Right, and then we save the save slots ref. And then this is coming for the instance. So that should be okay. Right, let's just check that, right? So we shall add a breakpoint. We shall run it. We shall click load game. We shall say retest. Click on that, right? And this gets us our slots, hopefully. So we step over. That's okay. So we'll add a breakpoint here. Resume. So it's slot index 7. And we're setting the save game slot. Right, so that's 7, and the item is retest is current true, level name nothing. That's fine. So this part of it is not saving to the save game slot. So fundamentally what we need to do is check the new game to see what it does. Right, so that does that, does all that. Does that. Okay. Right, so if we click on this, we get unclicked. We get, does it exist? And it does the same thing. Ah, wait a minute. No. text save name. So that's making the slot. Which should be, yeah, it's making a save slot. And that's the slot. Right, so in theory, this array element was correct. How bizarre is that? Right, if you load the game and click retest, okay. Resume. Step over. Right, that's the right thing there. Ah, right, okay, okay. So this actually, right, stop that. And what we actually do is that, right? So, yeah. Print that, or not print it, but load it again, right? We okay that, resume, resume, resume. And now when we stop it and we actually reload it, it's not there. Okay, well, I'm just not in the mood for this tonight at all. So, if we stop that, and we go back to here, options, managed, we've got images, load game, new game, options. So we've got to have a main. Now I don't think that is it. And it's button is more like it. So if we continue, the interesting thing here is when we press continue, which one it's getting. The only time this is not working is from the load, right? So it looks to me like these slots, there's none of them are set to true. Okay. Well, actually, no. One is set to true, but I don't know which one it is. I might actually need to do like a refresh of the whole thing. So this shouldn't be going to here. This should never get to here because that says it's false as current game. So how can it get to here if there's a branch that asks for it to be true? That doesn't make any sense, right? So we're going to stop that. And on that, guys, I'm going to call it an early night. It's been pretty quiet. If you have watched, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. But it's Friday night and I'm going to relax and have a beer. So check out the description, subscribe, there's Discord in there, there's other ways you can support the channel in the description, as I said. So check that out, and I shall see you all tomorrow. Bye bye for now.